right now, it's that time.
All right, good evening, everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. Do we follow the normal procedures?
Yeah.
Silent prayer?
Moment of silence, yes.
Okay, well,
And
it's
pledge
not on there,
allegiance.
but it's okay. All right, so we have a moment of silent prayer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wow. Okay. Huh?
Roll call.
That's fine. Did you hear from Tom?
Yes.
All right. So, roll call,
Yep. Mayor Kindle.
present.
Councilwoman Costantino is absent. Councilman Jenny is also absent tonight. Councilwoman LaPratte.
Here.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Present.
Councilman Toussaint.
Present.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
Okay, we're all set.
Okay, I need a motion to excuse
Madam Mayor?
Councilman Jennings. We did not hear from Councilwoman Constantino.
She may show up at any time.
Right, she can
Okay.
show up at any time.
So I'll offer the motion to excuse Councilman Jenny.
Support. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. This takes us to special business, and that's on you, John.
Okay, item G1, public hearing, Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Mayor and Council, as was scheduled at your last meeting, we will hold a public hearing on the 2024 Parks and Recreation Master Plan to receive any comment and input from the public. The master plan was created consistent with the requirements of the Michigan Department of Natural Resource guidelines and will allow the city to apply for additional federal grants for continued improvements to our parks. Our planning consultant assisted with preparing this plan, and a significant portion of the plan is based on input from the community and the Recreation Advisory Board. Our planning consultant will be present to answer any questions. I have provided a summary of the plan for each of you to review. For this agenda item, only the standard motions to open and close the public hearing are required. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the motion to open the public hearing on the 2024 Parks and Recreation Master Plan.
Support.
Okay. As it stands right now, the public hearing is open. Anyone in the audience or any members of the council that wish to speak, now is your time.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Can we have the representative, like, fill in the public a little bit on what the master plan says? Is that appropriate to have her talk?
Okay. Heather. Bridget, would you care to?
All right, thank you, Council, for holding this public hearing this evening and considering the plan for adoption.
Talk a little more.
Yeah.
How's that?
Can we make it a little louder?
I can try. How's that?
How's that? Better?
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you for hosting the public hearing and considering the plan for adoption. So what a Parks and Rec master plan is that it spans 5 years, and it is heavily guided by requirements set by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources. So the standing elements that are required involve community description, so giving an overview of the demographics, inventory of the existing park facilities, any recreational programming and recreation facilities, and then from there you can craft goals, objectives that would span over the next 5 years, and an action plan to help set a framework for providing direction to the Parks and Recreation Department on what the public would like as priorities over the next 5 years. So we helped in accomplishing just that. And what it does is it helps, or it makes Harbor Woods eligible to receive a number of state funding sources. And so some of the elements that we included that I can bring attention to are, we also called out the accomplishments that the city has made from the goals, objectives, and action plan that was set in the 2018 master plan. Some of those being how the city was able to update its sports equipment, benches, and paths at Salter Memorial Park, that there are new refurbished basketball courts at Johnson and Salter as well, that there has been additional recreation equipment added, such as cornhole, pickleball, and shuffleboard courts to city parks, and also that you made progress on achieving one of your main priorities to add a indoor recreational facility. Not only were you able to work with the consultants to put together a conceptual site plan, but also pursue funding sources, and that you were able to make progress on creating new pocket parks. So all of that is highlighted in the plan in the inventory. We also did take the time to include some of the proposed parks to show where the new service areas will be, which we consider service area a 10-minute walk. So those new parks would be the Roscommon Pocket Park, and then the new parks as part of the housing development at the former Popard School. So all of that is included. And then the goals and objectives cover the span of 5 different themes. We focused on facilities, programming, administration and organization, access to facilities, and sustainability. And from there, we provided a action plan that spans 5 years. Any questions at the moment?
Any questions?
Just a comment.
Yes.
Yeah, I reviewed it quite a bit. In fact, I was looking to see if there was going to be some new pavilions considered for Danbury Lane Park, and it was at the end, so I had to read the whole thing. So definitely, it looks very impressive, and I think these are realistic objectives to meet, and you did cover the summaries of things quite a bit. So hopefully this will get us a little step closer to being whatever that's certified or.
Yes.
I have a quick question. I was a little concerned about the retention pond at the neighborhood park that's being anticipated in the new development.
Yes.
I guess I'm a little worried because a retention pond could be attractive to youngsters who might want to jump in. And so is there anything that, I mean, is this something that's going to be appealing to kids in a neighborhood park? I don't want them to, drown.
Yeah, so the retention, it's a dry retention pond, and that's set up as part of the housing development at the former Popard School. And that is to help with stormwater management and preventing runoff on adjacent residential properties and roadways as well. And so from the information the developers have provided is that the majority of the time, if not always, it will be dry. It will just likely be soggy after heavy rain. So it is designed to not pool up and hold water. So the intention is for it to be dry. But again, it does accommodate heavy amounts of rain, so it could be soggy or puddles. But I do think they did a nice job in the design where they're gonna keep the play area closest to the street, so you won't have to walk through the soggy field to access at least the play equipment there for the neighborhood.
I know that we have something similar behind the senior high rise. There's that dip that becomes full of, after rain or snow melt. But I was a little concerned, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Madam Mayor, I had a few Yeah. questions.
Okay, I had a question on the map. I guess it's on page 4 of mine.
Okay.
Thing, but I was gonna ask about the retention pond also, so that's for the new neighborhood that we're building. That's
Yes.
what that retention pond is for.
Yes.
Okay, and I saw on the map, we listed all of our parks, we listed the possible retention pond, but I didn't see the rec center on the map itself. Is that,
That's a good point. We did not include that on the map. We only included it on the inventory when we dove into details about Salter Park. And then we did provide the rendering and further explanation about the proposed indoor amenities. So it is included in the plan, but it's not specifically stated on the map.
okay. Couple more. I saw a slide with bar graphs. It is, trying to find the bar graphs. Okay, it's project priorities for Parks and Rec Department over the next 5 years, and you have the blue bar graphs.
Yes.
It's on page 8 of mine, but
Okay.
I guess that's, I don't know what page it is in the book, 46.
Yes.
Okay, I saw some of them had 2 bar graphs, and, because there was different amounts, different lengths. So what were the second bar graphs for? Like restroom had 2, ice skating rink had 2, and
Right.
several others had 2 lines. So I was wondering what they represented.
Yeah, that's actually, thank you for bringing attention to that. It looks like it cut off some of the answers. So I can certainly make sure we update that graph then. Because you're right, it is missing some of the labels.
So the 2 bar graphs mean, let's say we took the restrooms versus.
Yeah. Oh, so this is to say, respondents were able to select what they thought should be the top priorities, project priorities for the Parks and Recreation Department.
So you got the one at about 33 and the other one at about 38, so.
Yeah, the one at 38 then it's missing its label. I'd have to look
Oh.
at the online survey
Okay.
to see what that actually
Yeah.
represented, because I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, because I saw
I
several of them in there
apologize.
like that, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no,
But
thank you for bringing attention to that. I'll make
Okay.
sure that the plan has the correct graph.
I also saw that for the future priorities, that our top 3 was the indoor rec center, community center, the restrooms, and the splash pads.
Yes.
Which is very good, because all 3 of those are very doable. Okay, if we get the funding, of course, for the indoor rec center.
Mhm.
But the splash pad, I think, is a good alternative, since we won't have a swimming pool, right, in the indoor rec center.
Yeah, so one of the other comments that was brought up, and this was a handwritten comment, was exploring or re-exploring the relationship with the school district to allow for open swim hours. And so that I would actually recommend to, consider as a priority in the next 5 years. Again, it's much more cost efficient.
Yeah.
And I know that we've worked with a number of communities to pursue funding from the state for a splash pad, and it is very rare to actually receive state funding, especially for a splash pad. But one other important thing to note is that there's already been conversation within the city that we did highlight in this plan on looking to create a nonprofit for Parks and Recreation within the city of Harper Woods, which is also a really great priority over the next 5 years, because that'll help bring in additional funding beyond state grants and traditional funding mechanisms.
Okay. So good. So I hope we are able to negotiate with the school system to reopen the swimming program for, I learned to swim. I learned the beginning class anyway, through the rec center. Couple more. So I made a list. It was on Oh, I saw a couple of things I didn't know we had, which was, I think, may have been on the priority list, like the ice skating rink, the art in the park, movies at the park. So, and I'm sure we probably have an Easter egg hunt, but it's just that a lot of those things aren't advertised as much. You know, I don't think as much of our community know about those, especially like the ice skating rink. So hopefully in the future, maybe one of the priorities could be better advertising for some of those other things. So we all know about the, you know, some of the events that we have, but some of those things I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, the ice skating rink was just a proposed project.
Okay.
I don't believe the city has a ice skating rink.
Yeah,
here.
we do.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah.
But one
But
of
it-
our, oh, go ahead.
Temperature dependent.
Right.
Okay, there we
Chris,
go.
you could speak to that.
The last past 2 years, we haven't been able to keep it frozen.
Okay.
Oh.
Normally, we have it in one of our quarters.
Oh, okay. And one of the priorities, so, was to, as you said, just continue reminding residents in various forms about, you know, the park facilities and the services you have. I noticed there were even some comments about residents not familiar with exactly where, for example, Danbury Park is. So, again, that is why we do make these maps, just to help remind people of the different parks and recreational facilities and programming. So it's always a good priority to keep reminding people about all the amenities that you have here.
Yeah. And then my last one, I believe, was at Johnston Park. They have a partial walking path, but not really a real walking path. It's more like a sidewalk.
Linear.
Yeah, and it kind of ends at the, back there by the baseball fields, I think. So, you know, I was thinking a suggestion would be an actual real walking path, like the ones we have at Salter Park, where we can just walk around,
Yeah.
you know, maybe add that to Johnston, because it's big enough to have.
Okay.
I think that was all the ones I had on my list.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to, sorry, I'd like to piggyback on what Representative Councilwoman Williams said about the walking path at Salter, because there are lights that are actually set up around the back perimeter of the park. I don't know if they work or not, but they would make a beautiful walking path, you know, to imitate where those lights go, because it does seem to go along that back area, and it would really be a
Is
nice
this for
addition.
Johnston Park?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And let the public comment.
All right, are there any further questions? Anyone from the audience? Thank you, Bridget, and you'll be able to direct the question.
I live on Little Stone Road. I thought I heard you say that funding was secured for the indoor
Excuse me. We can't- I can't
recreational.
talk in.
Well, I'm asking her the question that she just proposed. I mean, she made a comment, and I'm asking her. If I ask you, you gotta ask her to answer the question.
The proper way to do it.
Whatever you want me to do.
Proper way to do it is ask
Okay.
us, then we ask
I
her.
thought I heard her say that the funding was secured for the indoor recreational and municipal building. Is that the case? Didn't you say that?
No, they successfully applied for funding.
Right, from the
Oh,
state.
they applied? Oh, okay. Do we know what we applied for? I mean, how much is this thing gonna cost? The indoor rec center? What's the proposed?
2.4 million.
How many?
2.6.
Yeah, 2.4, 2.6 million,
Okay.
right around
Now,
there.
that's strictly indoor rec center pool and stuff, or is that
That-
like where you're
that's-
gonna wanna house the municipal offices?
That is for an
Recreation.
all-purpose, okay, recreational building. We probably will be housing, I want to say, the recreational offices there instead of using the trailer.
Right.
Okay, just the rec offices?
Yes.
Like not the city offices?
No.
Okay. Okay, that's the only question I have.
Is there anyone else from the audience who would like to speak? All right, and everyone on council has had their say. Also that we will be doing an advisory committee for the Pocket Park, which will consist of neighbors of the park, and 2 council people will be a part of that advisory committee for the Pocket Park, just to make sure that things is done the way the neighbors who would like for it to be done. It's, so, okay?
I've got one more, Madam Mayor. Because I see, because you mentioned the Pocket Park, so I think are you talking about the Roscommon Pocket Park, or are you talking?
Roscommon, that's
Okay,
only
so we don't
Pocket-
actually have it yet, we just got the location, right?
Huh?
Do we have the Pocket Park?
Just the location.
Just the location. We have not did anything, because it would take a committee to make a decision along with the rec department, city council, and residents of that area would decide exactly what that Pocket Park should look like.
Okay, then my other question is the corner park at Dupree and Van Antwerp?
I can't hear you.
The corner park at Dupree and
Yes,
Van
Roscommon.
No, and Van Antwerp.
It's Poe Park.
Is what?
That's the Poe Park.
That's the who park?
Poe Park School.
Oh, Popart.
Oh,
I didn't get it either.
all right.
Yeah, the Pocket Park is on Roscommon,
Right.
right at the end of Dupree. Runs right into it.
Okay, all right, 'cause the other one was at Dupree and Van Antwerp, so I was wondering where that was, where he says
Yeah.
part is where the school is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Are there any further questions? Yes. You can shout from your seat, you know.
I mean, how much property does it take to build or create a pocket park?
How
One
much
lot, 2
property?
lots?
How much,
Yeah, there's 2 lots.
it's 2 lots. It's, 180 plus, 80 feet deep or 60 feet deep? I think that's about what it is, 180 feet wide and about 60 feet deep.
All right.
Makes a perfect pocket
There's 2
park.
lots on the other side of the freeway down toward, one on Lancaster and
We
Canton.
haven't found anything, identified anything as of yet.
Well, no, I'm just
but it's
saying,
not that we're not
we have
looking.
2 city lots where we have.
Yes,
torn down houses.
most of those are just single lots.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
single lots, that's why I asked.
But Madam Mayor,
It really generally takes at least a double lot to make it a feasible
Okay.
park, small park. But we can look.
Just to follow up, the reason I asked is because the proposal in the master plan talks about all the pocket parks and new creation parks, including, the park are on this side of the freeway, which is
Good
nothing
point.
on the other side of the freeway other than Salter Park.
It's a good point.
Right. I
We have
understand.
nothing going up toward 8 Mile at all for all those residents.
Mm-hmm. It's a good point.
We're not amenable. I mean, we can look into it. Roscommon just happened to come up because we had been cutting grass there for so long and it's just a vacant park.
Makes sense to me. I just was wondering.
So we're not being discriminatory. We will look. If you can find us a double lot over there, we'll look into it.
well, you sort of answered my question, because I said, does a pocket park have to be 2 acres, or can it just be 1?
It needs to be at least something
That's what I
that's
heard.
180 feet wide and a certain distance deep. You can't just put something in a small little area. I mean, how would you, it's just
I
not
understand.
feasible. Is there anyone else that has any questions? Chris, would you like to weigh in on anything, or? No.
I mean, if somebody has a question, I can.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And it also, I think I agree we're going to look into it, but to provide shelter for where we put the new picnic tables at, because I understand we were out there and the sun was blazing and there was no shade. Yeah,
Madam Mayor,
yes.
has any thought been given to parking at the Danbury area? Because I know it's accessible for the residents that are right there, but residents who might not live in that vicinity have a more difficult time finding parking. So,
Well, actually, the parking is right on the roadway.
if you take Danbury Lane down,
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to enter to the park.
that's what I was
It's through
wondering.
Danbury Lane,
Yeah.
so.
It hasn't presented a problem so far.
And it's small for various reasons, because we don't want it to become a,
Yeah.
There is a lot of potential area there, though, between where the park is and where the DPW yard is. It seems like there's a lot of space there, could be developed more as a park, but then it would require more parking for residents to use that area. I just didn't know if any thought was given to that idea or not.
all thoughts can be brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I'll think about it
All
some
right,
more
since
myself.
there's no further questions, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion closes.
Okay, item G2, adopt Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Mayor and Council, with the public hearing now having been held, it is recommended that the plan be adopted. Attached here also is a letter from our planning consultant, Brigitte Wolf, that I believe is self-explanatory. As Ms. Wolf notes, you will need only to officially adopt this plan, and any revisions mentioned during the public hearing can be incorporated in the final plan. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Okay, I need a motion for a resolution.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make the resolution to adopt the resolution of adoption as attached hereby, adopting the 2024 Parks and Recreation Master Plan, and to further to direct the planning consultant, McKenna Associates, to distribute the plan to the Michigan Department of Natural Resources.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All righty then. So, is that it, John?
That's it. That concludes the city manager's reports.
All right, so call to audience, if you have anything else you would like to discuss. I mean, if you'd like to have something you want to discuss, please come to the mic and identify yourself. All right, seeing none, I said call to audience, call to council. Is there anything?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
There's only one thing. A resident stopped me. She was walking her dog, and she asked me to remind residents to get their dogs licensed, that there were very few ahead of her in the licensing process, and now's the time to do that. So just if you have a furry friend, then now's the time to get that license renewed. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else have anything?
No. Oh, one thing I want to comment. Last week when we were talking about the parade, and we had so many dignitaries there, and I want to give Madam Mayor the credit for her relationships with all these dignitaries. That's why they came. So we want to thank you for having those kind of good connections.
That's true. That's true.
A lot of work. Okay. Regina?
I don't have anything tonight. Thank you.
Jerry?
I don't have anything.
All right. All right, well, speaking of dignitaries and all, I just want to let the council know and ask permission or let you know that I was invited by the president and the first lady to attend the White House next Tuesday.
Wow.
So I will be going to Washington DC, and I will be taking a package of concerns and wants and desires for Harper Woods to put in the president's or the first lady's hands.
Wow, good luck. Yay.
Yeah, so, just to let you know about that and make sure, that you know where I'm going.
How exciting.
And other than that, I really want to ask everyone to keep Councilwoman Regina Williams and her family in your prayers for the loss of her mom. And I know it's a rough time, and I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
You know, knowing that what you're going through. So I ask everybody to keep Regina and her family in prayer
Thank you, ma'am.
with that. And since Mr. Jennings is not here, who wants to do the honors?
Madam Mayor, I'll do it. Make a motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.